Welcome to Holtonsfixit101, and this is part 2 of the Rage 5S Evolution table saw. So we'll go over a few things today, and we'll also spark it up and give it a bit of a run. I'll see you after the break. Welcome back. Now, I've been using this saw for the last 2 or 3 weeks on and off, different projects that I've been doing around the shop. Been getting it out, wheeling it up and putting it up and everything else. There are several small things that I found with the saw that I'm not entirely happy with, but I've worked around them. The fence system that they've got here. I've also found that there's very good fence system. It slides absolutely beautiful, but if you bring the fence up as close as you want to the blade, it hits the crown guard. And particularly on this side, I've got over an inch of difference of opinion in this crown guard here, between the guard and the actual fence. I've got an inch there. Now, if you wanted to cut off some very, very thin stock, you wouldn't be able to do that with the crown guard actually installed in place. So that's something else that I found that's not the best in the world. And my lights just decided it wants to flicker on and off up there. Wonderful. And that's what you probably can see on the camera. I do apologise. But you know, it's things like that. Fair enough, you can take the fence off. I like to use the fence on the right hand side of the blade. There are people that like to use it on the left hand side of the blade. So let's put it on the left hand side. But and I will get you a close up of this. You could get slightly closer, but you're still a good 1/2 inch to 3/4 of an inch down in there away from the blade. So anyone's working in metric, 1/2 inch is 13 mil, 12.7 if you want to be pedantic. But you can't get close to the blade with the crown guard in place, because the crown guard is so low to the bed of the table, and the blade is so high up inside the crown guard. But that being said, we will spark it up and we will do some cuts today with this saw. I don't know how it's going to work out with cutting this off of here. I have put some, I've got some nails in the end of this piece of wood, as you can see there, and I will try and run across there with this piece of wood as well, just to give you an idea of how well this thing actually cuts. It's got the multi-purpose blade. I'll take that out of the way. It's still got the multi-purpose blade. I haven't changed the blade or anything like that, and it is the same blade as what actually came with the saw. So we will spark this up, and we will get some cuts on it, and we can actually show you how good the cuts actually are. Right, here we are. I've connected up the main supply to the actual machine now, so the machine is actually live. I never had it plugged in before. Obviously I was messing with the blade, I was not going to be silly. I put my mitre guide on here, as you can see. I have my hearing protection and my eye protection as well. And we'll do a cross cut on this piece of wood, and we'll go straight through these nails that you can see actually on the side of this piece of wood as well, to show that this multi-purpose blade actually goes through it all. So let's get on and do that. Right, on goes the eye protection and the hearing protection. And you will have to excuse me just a second while I put on some extraction. It will be quite noisy, which I apologise for in advance. So let's as you can see, it's cut that piece of wood off with all those nails all in there as well, and here's the piece of wood that it came from with all the nails all in there. As you can see, it cut through those with ease, absolutely no problem whatsoever, and I'm very pleased with the amount, the actual smoothness of that cut just there as well. That is very, very smooth, even on that end grain. I'm very, very pleased with that cut. Right, I've set myself up here, and we're cut through this piece of wood, and we'll go all the way along there, and I set up the fence on the side here as well. Now, they have supplied us with a push stick to actually use on this, and this is the push stick that they've actually provided. Now, personally, I don't like using this type of push stick. I find that it's inadequate for what I like to call safe. And not only that, if you got this haunch in here you see here, if that's too big there, or too wide, if you want to put it another way, if that's too big, then you can't push smaller or thinner pieces of wood. Now, this piece of wood that we cut off just a second ago, we cut off a little bit at the end, is actually smaller or thinner than that actually haunch there, and you can see via this that now this is actually stuck up here, and you have to hold that like that and push down on it, and which is not very stable, and it's not giving you a very good push on that piece of wood. So I always opt to use what I call my push stick, and my push stick is one of these. Now, all it is obviously is a piece of wood. It's got a handle up here, and it's also got a small haunch in the back here. Now, I do have the option on this push stick that I do have this notch in the end, so if I want to push a piece of wood by the end, I can just push it along, same as what this one does, but I have that better option of putting this actually on the wood like that. It pushes on the front of the wood, and it also pushes on the back as well, so you're pushing the whole thing flat through the saw, and that is what I will use on this demonstration right now. So let's get ourselves all sorted out. I'll put my eye protection and my hearing protection back on, and we'll get all set up, and you'll have to excuse me while I put on the extractor again. Now, as you can see, it's gone completely right through that piece of wood, and it's even gone through a knot there actually, and that's given a very, very nice cut on that side, given a very, very nice cut on that side. Not the best cut in the world, because this is a multi-purpose blade rather up against a proper wood blade. So, but you can actually put those two pieces of wood there back together again, and you can squeeze them together, and you can hardly you could hardly see the cut that's actually been put through there. You wouldn't even know if you was to glue and clamp that together that the other's two pieces of wood that's been, or one piece that's been cut into two. But that's the Evolution saw in the action of the blade there. Like I say, I do have a few reservations about this crown guard here. Either whether it's my extractor my shop vac is not, not powerful enough, but I have taken this piece of hose off here, switched on my shop vac and everything else, and there isn't that a lot of suction coming up through the top here. I'm doubtful whether it's actually picking up anything. Now, whether that's a defect of the actual the way this is designed, the crown guard and everything else has been designed, or it's just my shop vac is not powerful enough to pick it up, I wouldn't know. But there we go. There is it in action, and you saw it go through those nails with ease, to be honest with you. I'll bring that back over, and there's the piece of wood with all the nails on it, and you can see that, and I'm quite pleased with how that come out, because you can see on the end of there, look, and the actual cut on the end of there is absolutely beautiful. You can't get a better cut than that, to be honest with you, even if you tried it with a proper chop saw with a multi-purpose blade in it. And I do have one of Evolution's chop saws as well, and I've done a video, and I'll post a link for that as well down in the description down below. So well, there we go. There's the Rage 5S table saw in action. Now, I've cut through those pieces of wood with the nails and everything else, and you cut through screws, obviously, if it goes through nails, and it got through the wood. Now, I'm not going to cut up a piece of steel, because there are lots of other videos online of people cutting through steel with their multi-purpose blades and everything else, showing you how it's done. So I'm not going to be another one of those that cuts through a piece of steel just to show you how it's done. I'll do the nail test and everything else, because I did promise that I would show you the actual saw in action. So, but there we go. That's the saw in action. Like I said, there are a few things that I found out using it over the last couple of weeks that with this crown guard, I feel like it could have a couple of little modifications to it. It probably have this rounded off at the back here, where this bolt goes through to hold the crown guard onto the rifling knife. Now, this said, there are a few other little bits and pieces that I do have in the other video that I'll post a link in the description down below, and you also see a card up the top here as well. So anyway, if you like this video, please click on that like button, and don't forget you can connect with me socially on the usual social media channels. There's Facebook, Twitter and Instagram, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel, and please use that bell icon, and because it gives you notifications when I upload the next videos and whatever, and leave comments down below, and I will see you next time. Bye bye. Please remember that whenever you're doing anything with your blade on any saw, not just a table saw, but when you're doing changing the blade, doing anything with it, adjusting it, or doing anything like that, please remember to disconnect it from the mains. Good safety measure is best one.